Good morning, everybody. Focus Daily. I'd like to begin this show by giving all praise due to the Most High and His Son, Jesus Christ. It is through them that I am being sent with this truth as a chance for redemption for all. The Democratic Address. Okay, during the late 1800s, a new political party began to form. Currently, this party is known as the Democrats. Previously on other shows, we did the etymology on the word democracy, and it led back to rather sinister beginnings. Well, instead of continuing with that etymology, today we're just going to go into a little history of this Democratic Party. Initially, the Afro-Americans were more connected to the People's Party or to the Republican Party. Abraham Lincoln was a Republican. It was the Democrats themselves that wanted to continue to perpetrate the slavery that has been historically shown to us upon the people. It was the Democratic Party who introduced us to such groups as the Ku Klux Klan or the KKK. It was the Democratic Party that were beginning to become the worst enemy of the children of God. All right, get to a little of this reading, a little history on this Democratic Party. Line everything up for y'all. Hopefully everybody had a nice weekend, but it's time to get to this truth. So let's go. History of the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party is the oldest voter-based political group in the world and the oldest existing political group in the United States. See, it was during the mid to late 1800s that politics began to rear their ugly head. The party's modern institutions were formed in 1830s and 1840s. Known as the Party of the Common Man, the early Democratic Party stood for individual rights, state sovereignty, but opposed banks and high tariffs. Lies and deceptions. Banks and high tariffs were their main goal. See, the Democratic Party specialized in telling you one thing and then doing the exact opposite of what they're telling you. They claim to be helping the people, but really they're hindering the people and destroying the people. And this democracy, it goes way back to ancient Greece. And what it actually is the party of Satan. God is the king. Jesus is the king. So anybody who tries to convince the people that by voting and placing individuals above God most definitely had to be straight from hell. During the second party system from 1832 to mid-1850s under Presidents Andrew Jackson, Martin Van Buren, and James K. Polk, the Democrats usually bested the opposition Whig Party by a narrow margin. A little bit more. The Democratic Party has changed significantly during its more than 2 centuries of existence. During the 19th century, the party supported and tolerated slavery, and it opposed civil rights reforms after the Civil War. So there it is right there. The Democratic Party was created to hold the people down. But somehow, fast forward to 2022, and the people are Democratic. It was all a ruse. It was all a scam devised to turn people from the Lord, to turn people from the Most High. And it led to the current situations that the people, including myself, find ourselves in today. Lost in the Democratic sauce. All right, let's go. All right, that's enough of that one. Right now, we're going to introduce a couple of small articles that was written by, let's see if we can find the author. the Black Republican Associates NBRA newsletter. Okay, I must stress this and point this out. Although we seem to be talking about history and politics, what we're actually talking about is how the people fell from grace, how the people found themselves in the situations we find ourselves today, being beaten, murdered, and crucified by a system that was placed upon our heads and turned us against God. All right, let's read a little bit about it because it has some interesting history. Let's read this. History of civil rights in a nutshell. The Republican Party, from its foundings in 1854 as an anti-slavery party until today, the Republican Party has championed freedom and civil rights for blacks. We're just going to keep reading. Use your discernment, people. The Democratic Party, as Arthur Michael Schur stated, the Democratic Party is the party of the four S's: slavery, secession, segregation, and new socialism. Excuse me. Slavery. Democrats fought to expand it. Republicans fought to ban it. Democrats formed the Confederacy, seceded from the Union, and fought a civil war. A war where more than 600,000 citizens were killed, including many thousands of blacks, in order to keep blacks in slavery because the Democrats had built their economic base on the backs of black slaves. Okay, that's an important point. I often speak about this new form of debt slavery that is beginning to be introduced, and it was the Democratic Party that helped bring this fiat land debt slavery into existence. Now, I don't favor either party, but in order to let the truth be revealed, we're going to have to get a little political. All right? Democrats enacted fugitive slave laws to keep blacks from escaping from plantations and incited the 1856 Dred Scott decision, which legally classified blacks as property. Okay, they're going to introduce another introduction of the color of law when we became black rather than Afro-Americans, rather than the indigenous children of America, rather than the chosen people of God. Democrats pushed to pass the Missouri Compromise to spread slavery into 50% of the new states. Democrats also pushed to achieve passage of the Kansas-Nebraska Act that was designed to spread slavery into all the new states. This new form of slavery that we just spoke of, debt slavery. Okay, let's scroll a little bit down. They'll go a little bit more about Lincoln, a little bit about Reconstruction. Democrats fought to end Reconstruction, started by the Republicans. Democrats started the Ku Klux Klan in 1866 to lynch and terrorize Republicans, black and white, and to drive Republicans out the South. In a book, A Short History of Reconstruction, renowned historian Dr. Eric Farner revealed that the Ku Klux Klan was founded in 1866 by Democrats as a Tennessee social club. The Ku Klux Klan became a military force serving the interests of the Democratic Party. Shame. The planter class and all those who desired the restoration of white supremacy. So the Democrats are the foundation of white supremacy as we know it in America today. Pay attention. It's all being played out right before our very eyes at this time. These people move in cycles, in circles and cycles, and they repeat the same actions over and over again. Really, their actions are all demonic and evil, but right now, we're bringing destruction to that cycle. All right. That's enough about that. Let's see what else we got. All right. Segregation. Democrats enacted the discriminatory black codes. There go that color again, and Jim Crow laws. Democrats fought to prevent the passage of every piece of civil rights legislation from 1860 to 1960. Democrats wanted to keep blacks in virtual slavery, debt slavery, bonded, enslavement of the soul, in order to back their new form of currency that they shortly will introduce. Democrats wanted to keep blacks in virtual slavery and deny blacks the promise 40 acres and a mule. Everybody heard that story. After they took control of Congress in 1892, Democrats passed the Repeal Act of 1894 that overturned civil rights legislation passed by the Republicans, including the Civil Rights Acts of 1866 and 1875. So once Lincoln began to try to bring people together, try to reconstruct this new system into a fair system for all, the Democrats began to systematically destroy the changes that Lincoln introduced and set forth, which were straight from God himself. In the Bible, it speaks about how God told the people to surrender themselves to the kings of Babylon. Okay, this is a small introduction into that, but it's presented in a political manner rather than a biblical manner. But all of this truth that I speak of is right here in this good book. This is the time, people, to open up this book and refamiliarize yourself with the Lord and refamiliarize yourself with Jesus Christ. It took Republicans nearly 6 decades to finally achieve passage of civil rights legislation in the 1950s. All right, a little bit more. And let's see what else we have. We're gonna stay in the 1800s right now. So that's it, people. The Democratic address. Let's read a little bit of this. The Hayes-Tyndall Compromise of 1877 was an attempt by Republicans to end the presidential election stalemate, as well as get the Democrats to stop the lynchings, and respect the rights of blacks. Contrary to popular belief, President Rutherford Hayes did not remove the last federal troops from the South, but merely ordered federal troops surrounding the South Carolina and Louisiana State House to return to their barracks. So a little bit of history on the Democratic Party and on how they intimidated the people and forced the people into accepting them as the leaders of the people, all the while tricking the people to turn their backs against God. All right, that's it for today. And as usual, we're going to end this show not in peace, because this show is about destruction, destroying the invisible empire. All right, y'all. Focus Daily.